Hello everyone, welcome to the new school year. Hope your summer kept you safe and happy and you had a great time to rest up and are ready to take charge of this school year. We're excited about all the different things that we have, besides just being in person to get things started. I'm sure you're all excited about that. And we have a bunch of different things that we want to talk about as we get rolling for this summer, so I'm going to dive right in. First item on our list today is just talking about the Google email transition. We switched over to that beginning of July, and many of you have already experienced that and obviously know what that's like and are starting to enjoy that. There's a lot of great things to learn with it and to use as part of this extra functionality. I want to talk about a couple of those things today, but first and foremost, I want to just point out as we go into our tech support system, we have our knowledge base area. It often says KB at the very top. And what that allows you to see and work with is just a nice little search or category navigation here. If I just type in Gmail, I'm going to get a lot of different resources here that talk about how to manage your email in this new system. If you're struggling either getting it set up on your personal device, switching from, oh, I did this on the other system, now I'm doing it here, and a couple other related things due to security, how to manage contact lists or set up your signature, a lot of different things here. But one of the exciting things that I want to point out is that this communication with parents and students resource that we've had up there for a little while, we talk a little bit more about what you can do now that Gmail is our primary email client. And one of the things that SchoolBrains has built in is that we have the ability to email an entire section of our students, assuming you're assigned to a class or have access to a class. And I want to show you how that works. I do have an article that's linked in this knowledge base that tells you how to do a one-time setup. And as long as you do this one-time setup, you'll have the ability to just shoot an email directly from SchoolBrains. And I want to show you what that would look like. And so if you follow this article, it simply gives you a couple steps to go through, and I'll just walk us through that today. You're basically just going to hit your triple dots in Chrome. You're going to go to your settings. On the left-hand side, we go to privacy and security. And then we go to site settings. And if we scroll down a little bit, you're going to see an option for additional permissions. And these additional permissions have something called handlers. And if we go to this handlers section, you want to make sure first that sites are allowed to do this, so that top option here. And then you want to make sure that Google email, this mail.google.com, is not in the list. And so I'm actually going to clear this out. And then the instructions in that article tell us that as soon as we clear this out, go ahead and visit the mail.google.com. And when you do that, what happens is you're going to get this little thing shows up in the corner, this little handlers icon. And if you click on that right away, you get to allow mail to open all email links. And if I say allow that and say done, that's all I need to do. That's the magic that makes this work. And so now if you're in SchoolBrains, on your section, you're going to have an emails tab. And all you have to do is click email all students or email all parents or email all parents and students. And as soon as you click on that, Google's excited that you have the ability to use Gmail like that. And it's just going to open up a new message for you. It's going to take every email address that SchoolBrains has in that system for that class and put it in the BCC field, and then you're ready to go. Awesome. Next thing I wanted to talk about is now that we're full Google with everything, we have Drive and calendars and emails and contacts and Google Sites and all the Classroom, of course, and all these other things that kind of come with it. You might want to think just a little bit about what your SMART goals are for this year related to technology. And something I've gone through in the past, and I know many of us have as well, is that Google has educator certificate programs. And what I think is interesting about these, besides them being really inexpensive, I think you pay maybe $10, $15, yeah, $10 or $25 for the test itself when the time comes. They are 100% geared towards education using the tools that we have in our district. And so it talks about how to use Calendar to set up invites with parents and increase your communication. How can you use email more effectively in a classroom environment? All of the different tools that we have access to and are available to you, these resources are geared towards it. I don't make any commissions on this. I've gone through both of these certifications myself. They're great resources and they help build your skill set. As you can see, the timing of them doesn't take very long either, but they're one of the more practical things I could suggest to get your skills up to par and even push yourself beyond what you know already, and really be comfortable in this Google world that we're living in now. Two other things I want to make sure you're aware of that we have access to starting fresh this school year. And number one is Screencastify. Many of you used this last year for the free version, but the district has partnered with them this year for their full suite of record, edit, and submit as tools. And so you don't have that 5-minute limit on your recordings. You can use this web-based recording tool, unlimited videos, unlimited time. It has a built-in editor, so if you've ever wanted to take a video you've recorded on your device, be able to trim it up and work through that. You can do that all online, all on a Chromebook or any device really. And then they also have this feature called Submit, where you can actually give students a video submission link, and that could be an assignment that you collect. And so it's a great way to get some feedback digitally, just another way to assess student understanding, or potentially a way to communicate a little bit more effectively with some students that need it. So even if you're all in person and that type of learning goes more traditional, I feel like there's a lot of value in these tools, both for yourself doing flipped classroom concepts or some blended learning models, certainly just for the ability to take some lessons that you might create and edit them, but perhaps expanding your reach to your students and using some of the submission ideas. So lean on their help for a lot of things. We can certainly talk about this stuff in a training session as well, but they're really great resources that we have available to us this school year. The other resource we have available to us coming very soon is Remind. I know many of you have used this already, just for the free version. The district has partnered with Remind for the entire school year. So what we're going to benefit from that, if you've used this before, you had to kind of set up your own classes and your own logins and all that stuff. Don't have to do that with our district partnership. You can use your HPS Google account to log in, and we'll have full rostering, and all the parent information that SchoolBrains has will be provided in this platform. So we're still in the process of getting that 100% set up, and we'll definitely communicate with that with you as that comes forward. But super excited for you guys to take advantage of this communication platform, make it really easy to reach out to your families. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today is how your Google Classrooms are auto-provisioned from SchoolBrains. We've used a tool called Little Sis for years now, and they've updated their tool to make it even easier for you to control what shows up in your Google Classrooms. Before, in the past, what would happen is you'd automatically, in your classroom view, get a grid populated with all these different classes, and depending on your flow as a teacher, you didn't necessarily want all of them, but they all were there anyway, right? So what the tool does this year, and you'll start to see these emails come out, is that the Little Sis, look for an email from Little Sis, and what will happen is it'll give you an invitation that says, hey, your district's provided Google Classrooms for you. Click here to review them. And in that review website that you're on, you'll get a screen that looks very similar to this here, where you have the ability to either accept the class, you can decline it if you don't wouldn't like to use it, or you can link it with a class that you've already created. Let's say you already started a small group or something and want to connect it to one of your SchoolBrains provided classes. You have the ability to do that. And so what you just need to do on your end, the reason I want to mention that here is, in order for those classrooms to show up in your Google Classroom environment, just look for that email from Little Sis. Make sure you follow those instructions that it takes you to, and just simply hit accept on the different classes you want, and then make sure you hit this finish scheduled actions button, because what that'll do is it'll actually finish the push to your Google Classroom, and then that automatic connection that I know many of you are used to from SchoolBrains to Google Classroom in terms of your rostering will be done. All right, that's all I wanted to share to get us started for the new school year. I know you got a lot on your plates. I hope this summary of some important things is helpful. We'll continue to do our newsletters month in and month out as a provided resource for you, and to keep you up to date on all the happenings that we have. Definitely continue to reach out on our support ticket system. More than ever, it's important to keep us in the loop as things are going on. If you have a question, please use the ticket system just simply to ask a question or clarify something. Certainly use it if there's a problem as well. And our whole team monitors that system and can assist you. And then, of course, if you need to go a step further, we are continuing to do our training appointments as an iSchool. We are still predominantly doing remote trainings, but we can certainly do an in-person training if you are comfortable, and certainly as time allows. So feel free to request that if you so desire. Best of luck to start the school year. Can't wait to work with all of you again, and definitely enjoy the process. We'll see you soon.